Are y'all on that side of TikTok where that lady's calling around and she's testing these churches to see if they're willing to buy a can of formula, one can of formula, for a baby, and she tells them that she's been out since last night, okay? She's calling these churches up. And are you hearing the responses of these churches? Now, if somebody calls you on the phone and they tell you that a baby has not eaten since last night and they need one can of formula, your only job is to ask them how quickly they can meet you at the nearest store. We're not skimming around and making you wait till Wednesday or calling somebody else on the phone to get approval. That's a fresh $20 bill. And if you ain't got it, you got a credit card somewhere that you can charge it to. And if you ain't got it there, then we're going to be asking strangers on the way till we get there because we're buying a baby a can of formula. The fact that I'm hearing people say that they can't buy a baby, an infant, a can of formula because you're not a member of the church. Well, honey, I don't know if Jesus is a member of your church. I'm not sure if he's ever showed up to any of your sermons because, quite frankly, I don't know how that is a representation of being like Christ-like. Are you not supposed to be called to be like Christ? Now, if he can feed a multitude, you can buy a can of formula. That I know for sure. You ought not need nobody's approval to do it either. And you can't be struggling so hard that you can't afford a can of formula. For crying out loud, we've got a government that can't even agree on nothing, and people out here that's trying to figure out what they're going to do because they need assistance and help, and they can't even turn to the church to get the church to help them out. Listen, I understand that the church can't help every single solitary person on the planet, but you can buy a can of formula. You can use common sense to know that a can of formula ain't breaking the bank. And do you honestly think that your response of telling someone you can't buy them a can of formula is moving them one step closer to a relationship with God? Do you think for 1 second that that's causing them to be in a place where they're looking and seeing a loving Father that cares for them and wants to meet their need? And the fact that this woman is calling around and now you're exposed and people are hearing exactly how you're responding, you should be deeply ashamed of yourselves. There should be a long, hard search within your policy and in your own heart specifically to ask yourself why it is that you would turn down a baby getting formula. Now, I don't care what your prejudice is. I don't care how many times somebody's used you for something. She ain't even asking you for the money. She's asking specifically for the can of formula, and she can come meet you to pick it up. Now, I'm absolutely appalled at that. I'm appalled at it. You do realize as a Christian, there are so many opportunities that's going to cross your path where God is going to test you to use you, that he's going to ask you if you will allow him to slip his hand into the glove of you and let you be used so that you can work and do something in the life of others. You are blessed.